Hi, welcome to Take a Break, Take a Breath for Friday, August 27th. I'm Rick Boyer, the pastor of Prospect Presbyterian Church, and Take a Break, Take a Breath, and it is an invitation for you to stop in your day, to pause for a few minutes from all of the activities of your life, and just center yourself in God who made you and loves you and calls you by name. It's an invitation for you to just breathe in the presence of God. Each time we come together, we've been reading a different passage of Scripture, and I've been reading through the Gospel of Mark with you. Today we come to what is the original ending of Mark 16, 1-8, although there is more in the Scriptures that we have, which were probably a later addition because people couldn't deal with the way it ended. It is a very odd ending for many because it ends with the word in Greek gar, which means simply for, and it's always the second word in a phrase or a sentence followed by a bunch of other words. In this case, it ends with for fear. For fear. That's how the Gospel of Mark ends. It's an amazing story in the way it's told, this particular reading. In this case, it is three women who go when the sun rises to do one last thing for Jesus, to prepare his body, to anoint it with spices. And on the way, they are talking about who's going to roll away the stone for us. The stone is too big. We'll never roll it away. I'm adding a little bit into the story, but essentially that's what they're saying. And then when they look up, they see that the stone had been rolled away. Notice the passive voice there. That's the divine passive. That's the way we express in the Scriptures often that this is an act of God. And so everything that happens in this story in reality is an act of God. It is God who rolls away the stone. It is God who raises Jesus. The women go into the tomb, and there they see a man dressed in white who gives them a message. He's not here. This is the place where they put him. You see, he's not here. Go on to Galilee, and he will meet you there. He goes on ahead of you. Tell the disciples and Peter special messages there to those who had fled. And the women go running away, and they say nothing to anyone for fear. For fear. Now that leaves us with lots of questions. How did we ever find out? How did the disciples know to go to Galilee? And it leaves us expecting that there will be another resurrection, that there will be a resurrection appearance. And that's the attitude of the Christian life, that we go about expecting to see the risen Jesus. The verse that I wanted to focus on for us today is verse 7. But go and tell his disciples and Peter that he is going ahead of you to Galilee. There you will see him, just as he told you. We see Jesus in all the places where we live our lives, if we're expecting him. So if you haven't already done so, I invite you to find a quiet place in your house, and if the room has a door, close the door and settle in. Close your eyes and feel the room that you are in. Feel the chair that you're in, on your back and on the back of your legs and perhaps on your arms. Feel the floor under your feet. What's the temperature like in that room? Is there a fan blowing? Is there the sound of air conditioning? Can you hear any sounds from the outside? What's the lighting like? Is there sunlight streaming in, or is it in a shaded part of the house, or are the curtains closed, or is it after dark? And then take a deep breath. And as you breathe in the breath of God. And as you breathe out all that separates you from God. As you breathe in the breath of life. And as you breathe out all that does not give you life. As you breathe in God's peace. And as you breathe out all that does not give you peace, all of your worries and your fears and your anxieties and all of the lists of things that will never ever completely get done. Come on, let's face it, we're always adding to the list. Breathe it all out. Get it all out. Continue to breathe in and out. In and out. And imagine that with each breath, you are being wrapped in the peace and presence of God. Perhaps imagine it like cloth being wrapped around you. It's wrapped around your feet. And it's cool and comfortable. And it brings relaxation to your feet. And then it's wrapped around your ankles and your calves. And the support and wrapping renews your calves. And that refreshes you. It's wrapped around your knees and your thighs and your waist. You're wrapped in the peace and love and presence of God. It's wrapped around your abdomen and your back and your chest. It calms your stomach. It relieves the pains in your back. Your breathing is slow and calm and peaceful. Your heart rate is steady and calm. It's wrapped around your shoulders and your arms and your hands, each individual finger. And all of this is like a healing balm on your arms and your shoulders and your hands. It's wrapped around your neck, offering support and space for breathing. It relieves the tensions in your neck. It's wrapped around your head. It calms your mind. It blocks out everything except God's love and peace and presence. In your mind's eye, go to a cave somewhere. A cave that has lights inside. And imagine that as you walk into the coolness of that cave, you look around at all of the light and all of the rocks that make up this cave. There's someone there and a place to sit. It is a messenger of God. He looks up at you and smiles and invites you to sit and tells you that Jesus is not here, that he's on out ahead of you. But he sits and waits and invites you to talk. So the two of you talk for a while about all of the burdens you've been carrying in your life and all of the things that are unfolding in our world, the Delta variant, Afghanistan, Haiti, political unrest, economic challenges, family struggles. Lay it all out before this messenger of God who can carry it to God and can offer you God's reassurance and comfort. I'll be quiet while the two of you talk for a moment. Then the time for the conversation comes to an end. The messenger motions for the two of you to stand, and he stands, he or she, and walks you to the mouth of the cave and points out at all of the world that you can see from that spot. And looks you in the eye and says, Jesus goes on ahead of you. He will meet you as you go from this place in all the places that you go. He is risen. There is life. And with that, you allow those words to sink into your heart. And then let that vision, that image fade from your mind. And bring yourself back to the place where you are. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Well, that's Take a Break, Take a Breath for Friday, August 27th. If you have feedback for me or you want to suggest another book of the Bible for next Wednesday, we'll be starting a new book of the Bible. Send an email to rick@prospectchurch.org. If you want to pray with me or talk with me, do the same and we'll make arrangements to pray and talk together.